Hello. So welcome back. My name's Frank, and this is my 1983 VW T3 Vanagon. Vanagon. It's a T3, okay? If you haven't watched the previous video, please go and do so, where I strip the inside of the van out and I primer it ready for paint. And I've got a bit of a plan of what I want to do with the interior now. So today is going to be masking, painting, and then a little bit of woodwork, I suppose. I'm going to start making more of an effort on the interior, getting all the panels cut out of plywood, and then mocking up where I want the units and stuff to go. So if you haven't already, go and stick the kettle on, make yourself a nice cup of tea. I mean, bang some sugar in it if you're feeling brave, and I'll meet you. I suppose we'll start with masking. I'll stick the time lapse on and we'll get masking and painting. So yeah, all mine's 2 sugars, by the way. Grab yourself a Garibaldi as well. I'll see you in there. Masked up as much as I want to be now. A lot of the rest of the stuff I can sort of use a piece of cardboard and work around it. But the paint I'm using is, you guessed it, the same matte black that I painted the outside with as well. Now there's no real reason why, I like it and it's cheap, so that's what I've got. Now the plan is, the door cards are going to come up to here anyway, so this is the ledge I'm looking at, above that. And then also the ceiling, the wood on the ceiling is going to come down to this ledge. So I'm only really bothered about painting up to there. So that's the plan. Now you can spend as much as you want on the paint, but if you're tight like me and you haven't got much money, whatever you want. It's inside, so it's not going to be a hard wearing surface, it's not going to be having a lot of wear and tear, so as long as it's cheap, you get good coverage with it. And it looks nice, you know. I'm going with matte black because it's a neutral colour. Like I said in my previous video, I'm going to do from the cab, the back of the seat backwards. I'm going to do the back of the van first, and I'm going to leave the cab until the back's finished, because there's all the trim and stuff and I need to make new door cards and all the glass, and I'm going to leave that for later. All right, okay. I know. Just sit down in the back. It's functional right now, so I feel like if I can do the back, I'm still able to use it, and when I'm free to be able to do the front, I can then attack it full width. I can rip it all to pieces, sort it out, because it's all brown, horrible 80s plastic. I don't know what to do with that, whether to paint it or replace it. I don't know. Oh, cool. Like with normal painting, I like to do just a bit of a dust and let that tack off, and then I'll do a proper coat then. Oh, it's exciting. Right, so for this part, the back of the door, which is always going to be awkward, I don't want to get overspray on the door, and I don't want to get any overspray on here. So what I've done is I've just taped along the lip, and then I've folded it over. I haven't taped it all the way around because I want this lip to catch the paint so that it stops it going onto the door. And then of course for the actual wall of the van, I've got Old Faithful. So that'll go in there. You want to get it quite far down, because even though you think you're getting it, there'll be some that pass down. So you want this quite far in so it doesn't get past it and cut into the side of the van. But there you go, I've definitely put way too much on there. But you get the gist. You get what I'm trying to do, okay? It's the lazy man's masking. But I don't want to take the door off, because taking the door off means more time. I don't want to take all the hardware and door handles and locks, and because then getting it all back on, it's just time I don't want to spend doing. I'd rather just do as best I can with this. Now, like I said, I don't mind a little bit of overspray, because you can see this orange peel. I still need to polish the outside of this, so I'm not too worried about overspray. But obviously I don't want to paint the whole side of the van. Anyway, I'll shut up and crack on. Quite pleased with the finish so far. It's still drying, still not quite matted off just yet, but yeah, looks pretty cool. That is right on the money. Oh yeah, keep going. Keep going. Oh man, that is amazing. Right, now that that's done, that side I'm happy with. Now, at some point I will take these off, treat them, paint them, I don't know yet. Oh, I'm missing a screw. But next, sound deadening the ceiling. That's as far as I'm going to go with the ceiling. I'm just going to sound deaden it for now. And then I'm going to start work on the next side, here and here. These two panels and the insulation for that. For those of you interested, so this side is sound deadened and insulated. That side isn't. Listen to the difference. Oh yeah. I'm not quite sure how far I'm going to get today. I feel like, because I was going to clear all this out and then put the new floor down, and I thought, well, do I want to do that? So I think next step will most likely be setting the battery box in for the leisure battery and all the electronics, which I've kept just like in a bird's nest on the top of there, that's like sparking and banging and setting fire to stuff while I go over bumps. So I'll probably put all that in here and box it off. And then the next stage, I need to get the fridge in. I need to put the fridge in and work out how far it comes out, because then I hope it doesn't come out any more than that, because that's sort of where I want my units to go, and it's going to sort of dictate where my countertop is and how far things are going to come out up to here. And then I still want to keep 6 foot for the bed to fold out. So yeah, still loads of, now we're getting into the geometry of stuff now, where I sort of know what I want to do, but it's measuring it out and doing numbers and counting, and yeah, I was never very good at that. So I'm going to try and work it out as best I can. I mean, I've got 10 fingers and toes, so I feel like I'll be able to work at least parts of it out in sections. Yeah. It's too bloody hot to be doing this. I'm sweating like hell. I need to get a jiffy on because I've booked to go on holiday in Anglesey in this in 3 weeks' time. So yeah, I sort of need to get my act together, really. At least get the bed in. Look at that. Alright, anyway, let's get on with it. So my bloody camera stand's knackered, but I've got somewhere for my electronics to go. So I've just got to sort of decipher all of this stuff and somehow fandangle it in there so it makes sense. Nice. That needs to be earthed. That needs a proper earth. Don't need that. So these can all just get self-tapered straight to the chassis, how the Lord intended. Where's that self-tapper gone? Story of my life. Frank, you need to put a bolt in this at some point, okay? Put a bolt and a nut in it. But for now, none of this is good. I mean, the 12-volt system, I mean, it doesn't really matter. As long as it makes sense, there's fuses, no one's going to get a shock, no one's phone's going to get knackered. Well, I think that should do us for now. So there's the new earth. That'll do for now, I think. It's much better than what it was. Yeah. Right, now I've got the engine running. Beforehand, when I had my previous professional earth, this wasn't happy. It was ticking on and off, ticking on and off. It had an awful earth. So now I've swapped that out, fired it up, it's ticked on and it's connected. So I know that this is getting charged from the alternator, and when this is full, this little badger will tick off and will stop it from overcharging. Very handy. Oh, I've got this jerry rigged up in here so that I can put a hole here and then I can daisy chain 12 volt from that then. That's always check your earths. Well, that's in there now. Look at that! Good. Got the fridge. Right, that's perfect because it doesn't come out past here. That means the tabletop can go. That's great. I'm very pleased with that. That is ideal. Like the electronics, this came with the van, so I'm quite chuffed really because these are a couple £100. The cheaper ones are like a couple £100, and it works okay. It works pretty well. Wow. Oh, that's. Just pretend I didn't see that. That's been a while. What my next train of thought is how I'm going to fix the countertop and the cupboards to the wall and the floor. The floor doesn't matter too much because it's plywood. I can just drill straight into it. Doesn't matter. But the walls, plywood isn't really that much of a strength member. Up here, there's the metal strip that comes down to about here, and that's what I've affixed these to. So I can always use that if I need like an anchor on the wall. So with regards to the countertop, what I'll do is I'll probably drill and screw a batten here into the metal to anchor it, and then I can fit the countertop on top of that and drill up from the batten into the countertop. So that's the countertop. The walls for the cupboards, I'm going to have some small metal angle brackets so that I can then affix them to the floor using an angle brackets, and I can affix them to the wall as well. Anyway, enough of me chatting. I'm going to get on with it. Okay, so this is the general idea of it. Right, fridge over there, small cupboard, water storage maybe underneath the van, don't know, sink, drawer with a cooker in it. And then here is all going to be drop down storage. So this, I'll probably put another partition there. And then this will be clothes and pots and pans, or in fact this will be like pots and pans and stuff. And then in the back there, that'll probably be clothes. Oh, I don't know. I haven't got a clue, but that's the plan. Because this now comes out to 6 foot boom from the back, so I know that when that folds out, that's going to be the bed, the end of the bed there. But yeah, I mean, it's starting to look kind of like a bit of a van at the minute. It's looking like kind of like a van. Yeah. Hello. So I've reached a point where I've sort of ran out of materials a little bit. I've got battens and wood to make frames and things, but I sort of need the worktop, and I think I would like some nicer stuff to make the walls of the cabinets out of. You know, I don't want it to look tat. I don't want to have a nice top and then for the sides to look poo. So I'm going to nip into town. Usually, if you need plywood or any sort of building material, the worst place you can go is B&Q and Home Base, you know, those sort of places, because mucho's expensive. If you need building materials, go and find a builder's merchant, cheap as chips. However, the only downside is they're not open on a weekend. So I found a happy medium, and I've got pretty much all of the stuff I needed from Wickes. So I'm nipping back to Wickes now. Screws, those little crush washers, the plywood, everything, and it's pretty cheap as well. And if you tell them your profession, so like I told them I do up old cars and I do the interiors and stuff, camper vans, interiors and things, then you get a discount, 10% discount off. So yeah, you know, I've been using them. I'm going to head back there, and then I'm going to have a look at some material for the work for the cupboard sides. I needed something else, can't remember. No, don't know. I'll work it out. Work it out. What a beautiful day. It's mad. I never realised how much of a cult thing having a VW camper is. Every VW camper I see coming past, doesn't have to be an old one, could be a new one, waving, woo, like, oh my god, yeah, yeah, like waving, flashing the lights, beeping the horns and that, waving at me. It's mad. It's like a little club. I had no idea. Oh, there goes the camera stand. Oh damn. But yeah, it's like a little club. I didn't realise. Everyone's like, ah, yay. But I've caught myself doing it now, because I was like, I didn't realise it was a thing, and so I wasn't really waving back. I thought, do I know these people? So I started waving back, and then every so often you get one that isn't interested, not bothered at all, not in the club, and so you're there like, ah, look at me, ah, hello, hello, and then just drive straight past you. So I was entertaining getting a door because they're pretty cheap and they're very light, but I couldn't cut. If I cut through it, because it's a cavity on the inside, it's hollow on the inside, so if I cut it I would have to have the hollow side to the wall. Just not sure if it would flex. Not sure. Plus it would be a little bit thick for what I'm after. Now this looks about right. This sort of stuff. It's a little bit more expensive, so that'd be good for a top. And then there's thinner, longer ones for the back pieces as it goes back as well. So I'll go back, measure these up, go back to the van, measure up the gaps, come back, see if these will fit. I might get a couple of these, a big one and a thin one. Right. Yeah? What do you think? It's almost like I know what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, shite. Sorry guys, I know I usually keep this PG, but I usually time lapse the stressy bit so you don't hear the swear words. Alright, there you go, you just grind it in there, that's fine. I can never take it off. And I want that bottom out there. I'm quite concerned about how strong this is going to be, so I'm going to have, yeah, it should be okay with this, but I'm concerned about this back piece. I might put another strip underneath to sort of support it, or have some bigger brackets. I'm not sure yet. Come on. Oh yeah. I mean, it's not as good as that one. There's still a little bit of a gap, but I can live with that. Hey, do you want to see some porn? Come and have a look. Oh yeah. See, like, some of the edges that I've been doing, yeah, I can't get them perfect. The way I've been doing them is measuring like this point, this point, this point, and then I'll try and mark it out as best as I can and then cut it. I've only got a handsaw, so it's not perfect. What would be easier is if I had a scribe, because then if you could leave this piece as a little bit longer, about an inch longer, and then you get it's like a compass with a metal point and a pen, and you scribe along at the same distance and it will mark the curve out, and then you can cut that curve off until it fits and then cut this down to size, which would be perfect, but I haven't got one. And even if I did have one, it'd probably take me about 19 days to work out how to use it. So anyway, I'm cracking on. I'll show you the progress a little bit now, what we've got so far. Oh. So this is where we're at so far. Top down storage, boop, sink, kitchen storage, water storage, drawer with the cooker in it. Above the fridge there'll be a partition there. This bit I'm going to leave for now because I'm going to wait for the countertop to come. Still trying to choose one, still not quite sure what we're going to do with that, but I'll work it out this time. And then we're fast approaching time for the bed. However, it's going to have to wait a little bit because there's always too much month at the end of the money, basically. So I'll have to wait until next month. Look at that, looks shocking. Till I get a bit of money. But what I can do in the meantime is I'm going to try and get a big sheet of cardboard, and I'm going to try and make the first iteration of the design of the bed out of cardboard first, because I think that's quite easy, because it bends quite easy. I can mark where I want the bends to be, the hinges, and I need to build up the back. I need to have a stand off the boot. Also, if you like the shirt I'm wearing, Bogans, there's my mate's band. They're local to North Wales, Wrexham area, and they're playing a gig on the 20th of July in the Rocking Chair pub in Wrexham. So I'm going. So if you're interested in going, seeing a bit of, they're more punk rock really. Anyway, they're on Spotify, have a listen, and they're playing a gig there, which I'm going to anyway. So if you want to go and have a look, please feel free. Until then, I'm going to keep going with this, but it's starting to look like a camper now. I'm getting a little bit excited. Yeah, I didn't realise how tight this space was going to be. This way you have to plan ahead a little bit. Put the brackets on the wall first and then drill it to the floor, instead of putting it in and then trying to introduce the brackets. There we go. Lola Tech. I think that's in. Just realised that this end is a little bit higher, so I might have to cut. It's higher than where the top of the worktop's going to go. In fact, this corner might be a little bit high as well. Not quite sure, but this definitely is. So I'll have to whip that off. So you've probably heard of the saying that always cut against the grain. It's much easier cutting against the grain. When you're cutting with the grain, if your saw flexes, it has a tendency to fleck and it'll rip along the grain, it'll peel the wood off away. And depending on where that grain's going, depends on where it's... Sorry mate, yeah, I'll tell you as well. Because depending on where that grain goes, if it goes straight down, you're in luck really, but if it peels off, it can ruin your work. So always be careful. Come on, let's go and see if this fits. You come in. Come on. Oh, it fits much nicer, much better. Once it's nipped up a little bit. Yeah, and plus there's no height issue there either. Beautiful. What's going on with my finger? Ooh. Couple of broken off screw heads and the best tool in the world. Nice. That looks okay. See what I mean? This is just a placeholder. The drawer will go on here with the cooker in it. And then yeah, I suppose I could have doors on both sides really covering this, but I sort of don't really want to. I want this to be like framing here, and then this can be like a little cupboard here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a partition in here. But before I do that, I need to do that big gap there. I don't have a piece of wood wide enough to go all the way and cut the angle out. So that's 600mm there, so I can make that piece, and then I can cut that piece out separately, because this is too short. I'll have to make one to match, and then I can cut this isosceles boomerang shape out, and then just, you know, just magic it together like that. Psh, shimmy. Well, they matching up. I see. There. Always double check. What's it? Measure twice, cut once. Or if you're like me, just eyeball it. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, so I'm trying to work out this angle for this final piece. I had a straight edge from here, so I could mark it, measure it on here, and it's 13 3/4 inches high is how high this is from that flat level there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 13 3/4 on here, and then from there to the floor, draw a line, chop it off, and this is luckily a flat surface, so it's just going to be a straight cut, straight to the bottom. Although there is a little bit of a standoff there, so I'll have to take that into consideration. And then that should be the last piece then. And luckily for the bed, I've managed to find an huge cardboard box at work that I'm going to fold out, cut to 6 foot, and then I'm going to work out where the angles are, the hinges. I'm going to make it out of cardboard like that. Ooh. And then I can work out how I'm gonna do this. Oh, it's tight. Stay. Ha ha ha! Have you ever seen anything so beautiful? The inside ready for a worktop. Alright, there's a little bit of a ledge there. We're going to ignore that. Okay? We're going to hide that all with a worktop. Yes, I am well chuffed. Right, that is pretty much us ready for the worktop. But I need to measure that and send that. I'm going to get somebody to come and cut it and do, well, not cut it, but I'm going to buy it the correct shape rather than me trying to do that. So what we're going to do next, which leads me very neatly on to the bed. So the bed, which is coming out to 6 foot, which is right here, and then the width of here, that's perfect. I'm very pleased. I suppose next step is to empty this completely, get all this out of here, and then I can get a big piece of cardboard in and I can work out how I'm going to do this. Anyway, piece of cardboard, and I can work it out then, and I can decide what I'm going to do. I'm excited. Are you excited? I am bloody excited right now. This is cool, man. I had no idea it would go this well. Just make a start. If you've got a project that you've been dreading to start, or you've been putting it off because you don't know where to start, just make a start. My motivation came from door cards, because I thought I could take the old ones off, get some plywood, use the old ones as a template and do that. And that's where I started. That was my starting point, because I thought it would be easy to do. And then that cascades and develops and evolves, and then suddenly I'm sat within the space of a couple of weeks of Monday to Friday evenings, I've got the foundations of a bloody camper van here. Right, I feel like we've reached the end of what we can achieve for this video, so I'd like to thank you so much for watching. I'm as surprised as all of you guys are that this is actually going quite well. If you haven't already, go back and watch my previous video from where I start all this, and then look forward to the next video, which will be, it's going to be the bed. yeah, the bed, and I think the worktop as well. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Oh, my knee.